welcome to the programme. I'm Katy Watson and this week we're in Israel. In the next few days, people here will be going to the polls to vote in a new government. And the economy has been brought into sharp focus recently with news that the government was overspent by far more than it planned last year. But when it comes to the crunch, can the economy trump the issue of politics and national security here? We'll be finding out.
Costa Allegra was left drifting in an area known for pirates after a fire caused its generators to fail. Katy Watson reports from the Seychelles.
It was a painfully slow journey for passengers and crew on board the Costa Allegra, but today the cruise liner finally made it into the port safely. The priority was to get the sick and the elderly off first. Medical assistance was standing by. The mood was definitely one of relief. The past few days had, at times, been tense.
After 3 days of no power, no air conditioning, limited food supplies and no communication, all in searing heat, passengers on board the Costa Allegra are pleased to have finally reached dry land. And no doubt Costa Cruises, which is still reeling from the incident back in January in Italy with the Costa Concordia, is relieved that this time round all its passengers are accounted for. Katy Watson, BBC News, Seychelles.
The memory of war lives on here on Tripoli Street. This is the heart of Misrata's commercial district, and it bore the brunt of some of the fiercest fighting. Today, retail has turned to rubble.
Now, this used to be a lighting shop. You can still see the skeletons of the chandeliers hanging from the ceiling, and all across the floor there's mangled bits of metal and light bulbs. The whole building is totally devastated, and it's much the same story all the way down Tripoli Street.
The feeling here is that actually production has recovered better than expected. Now, oil pretty much accounts for all of Libya's exports. I went to Zawiya refinery, which was really caught up in a lot of the fighting. It was one of the key places to get fuel for Gaddafi forces, and it was taken by Gaddafi forces at some point during the fighting. Now, I went there and they said they were back to 100% capacity. And the new oil minister, Bin Yasser, he has also said that the country will be getting back on track. But the issue really is security.
Here in Saudi Arabia, businesses have to have separate offices for men and for women. And this is what this law firm is doing at the moment. There are separate offices you can see behind me, as well as a separate kitchen, reception room and conference areas. And once the office is up and running, the company can then hire female lawyers. The leaders in place in Egypt are new, relatively inexperienced. But some critics would say it's not just about inexperience, it's about economic mismanagement.
It's not about mismanagement, it's about managing what you can, what you do within a very turbulent political situation.
Let's go to Washington now, and our correspondent Katy Watson, because we've had little comments coming out of the White House in the last couple of hours. And Katy, the Americans have been fairly non-committal to what they've heard so far.
That's right. I think when President Rouhani actually won the elections, there was a feeling here in Washington certainly of, OK, well, this could be a new start. He's making the right noises and there could be some change. But I think it's very much down to President Rouhani to make the first move. And that's something that's come out in a statement that the White House has put out today, talking about a new opportunity. The changing face of the US is no more apparent than here in Union City. This is a city where 80% of the people here are Hispanic. You walk down the street, there are Colombian bakeries, Uruguayan coffee shops, and the music you hear is Spanish, as well as the conversation here too. People here in Washington went to bed thinking that there was an extradition proceeding underway in Hong Kong, and they've woken up on this rainy morning to find out that Snowden is one step ahead of US legal proceedings and he's left the country. International pressure is increasing, but opinion polls here in America show the majority of people don't want to be drawn into another conflict in the Middle East. President Obama is trying to ease those concerns, saying any action would be limited and it wouldn't mean boots on the ground.
Katy, what's the latest?
Well, of course, it is a very big week for President Obama after he was in Russia last week, and Secretary of State John Kerry was trying to get the support, international support from Europe. Attention is now turning to home. Really here, it's very much business as usual, still trying to make the case in Congress. And that's something that was echoed here by the spokesman for the White House that I spoke to just an hour or so ago, who said that, they remain cautiously optimistic but still sceptical. Dubai has become one of the places to do retail therapy. This is Dubai Mall and it has more than 1,200 shops and claims to have the largest collection of designer fashion brands under one roof anywhere in the world. Last year, 65 million people walked through its doors to splash some cash. And in this part of the mall, which is dedicated to top-end brands, some serious cash is needed. But this isn't the only place in Dubai that people go to find some designer shopping.
You're unbelievable.
A bag selling for nearly $1,400 in the mall sells for less than $100 5 minutes down the road. When we tried to film openly in the market, we soon realised cameras weren't welcome. Ordinarily, though, shopkeepers are very happy to show off their goods. On one of our trips, we were invited to visit a secret flat full of fake bags. These brands are hidden here because police raids on places like this have made shopkeepers nervous. They don't take any risks. We were locked in the flat while we were shown around.
Now next week we'll be talking about the oil industry here in Iraq. There are growing divisions between Baghdad and Iraqi Kurdistan on how best to deal with international oil companies wanting to take advantage of this country's vast oil reserves. But how is that polarising the industry, and is it making business difficult? Well, until then, from me, Katy Watson here in Erbil and the rest of the team, thank you for watching and we'll see you next week.